Hey everyone, so today what we're going to do is I'm showing you how to solve one-step equations with subtraction. And here's the tricky thing. I've shown you this equation in the last video. And when I was searching online trying to find examples for my class and worksheets and trying to make worksheets, whatever, I realized this first one is like the standard question you're going to find. It looks like this, or it looks like this one. Here, let me just even put like a little star next to this. And I've realized it's because they're set up in actually a much easier way to solve than this. And I find that actually really frustrating. Like, it's actually really hard finding an explanation online as to how to solve this. When you Google one-step equations with subtraction, almost every example they give you is this top one. But this is still a legitimate question. This is saying we have 5, we take away something, and we're ending up with 2. How do we solve it? And the problem is that when we have the variable here, it's really hard to know what to do. Like, do we take away 5? Do we add 5? Like, what? So this is what I'm going to show you today, is how do we handle this one? Because this is tricky. And the steps involved to figuring this out are actually really tricky. So let's do this. So 5 minus x equals 2. So 5 minus x equals 2. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to visualize this because, again, math is not my thing. I need to make sense of what this is saying. This is saying up here that I have the number 5, right? I'm going to take away something, and I'm going to wind up with 2. You don't have to do this with every question, but I find that until the concept makes sense and you look at it and you instantly know, because you've done it so many times, what the concept is asking you, it's good to do this because it kind of helps figure out what operation do we need to do and what are we trying to do? Like, what is this asking us to do? I've got 5 of something. Let's say 5 cookies. Someone's taken some amount of cookies and all I have left are 2 cookies. I need to do some math to figure out how many cookies do I have left. My mind wants to do subtraction. I look at this and I'm like, okay, well, can't I just switch the x and the 2? Can't I just, boop, done? But that's not really setting me up for success for knowing how to handle equations in the future. So let me show you what you might be tempted to do, like what your brain is saying to do. I'm going to show you why that doesn't work. And this is why my students, myself, this is why people run into problems with this question. You hear people saying, like when they teach this, so like the opposite of subtraction is addition. So then we see the subtraction sign and we want to go, oh, okay, so subtract 5. Now I'm going to go add 5. In theory, that would make sense to kind of cancel that out. And then we see over here and we're like, okay, well, I'm going to add 5. So then I'd end up with x equals 7. But watch, I'm going to show you why this doesn't work. Let's check our math. Let's check our answer. I'm going to show you why this doesn't work. Because let's say again, I've got 5 minus x equals 2. If I'm saying that x is 7, and I'm going to plug my 7 in here, then I'm saying that 5 minus 7 equals 2. But if I have $5 and I spend 7, I actually have negative $2. And negative 2 is not the same as 2. Owing someone $2 is not the same as having $2. That is why this question is really tricky. Now, you can do what I did and just be like, oh, that didn't work. I'm just going to randomly plug in a number. I'm just going to look at this and be like, okay, well, maybe x is 2, maybe x is 3, maybe x is 4. You can do that. But when you're dealing with much larger numbers or numbers with decimals, fractions, you're not just going to be able to just guess. You're just going to be able to plug in them one at a time. So I want to show you how to solve this one. This is really challenging. So let's take a look at this. All right. So the first thing you're going to do oddly enough, you're going to look at the 5. The 5 it's a positive 5. So we're going to write that in. We know it's a positive 5. So just for fun, I'm going to have positive 5 minus x equals 2. And I can put in the positive 2 there if I really want. I don't have to do that, but it's already the 5 above 0. It's already a positive 5. So I don't have to have a positive sign there to know it's positive, but for this next step, I'm going to do that, okay? What I'm going to do is I have to then invert these operations. I'm going to switch them around. So I'm going to go minus x plus 5 equals 2. Don't even ask me to explain that logic. These are the steps you have to do. I've switched, minus x comes here, plus 5 comes over here. So now this is actually set up like the first example I gave you, the one that is much easier to handle, where our math is in like the right spot to do our operations. Now is when I can do the opposite, right? The opposite of subtraction is addition. The opposite of addition is subtraction. So I've got addition here. So now I'm going to use subtraction to get rid of it. So watch this. I'm going to go minus 5. That's going to zero out. Okay? But whatever I do on this side, I have to do over here. Minus 5. So 2 minus 5. When I take 2, let's imagine, so I've got 2, 1, 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay? I've got 2, and I'm taking away 5. So I've got 2. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Minus 3. So what I'm left with, I know, trust me, this is like mind-blowing. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? These are gone. Gone were the easy days. Hello, hard days. So now I'm now left with minus x equals minus 3. And you're sitting there, you're like, well, that doesn't work. I can't have 5 minus minus 3. It's because we're not going to do that. We're going to do the opposite. Because that's minus x and that is x. That's subtracting a positive x. I can't stick in negative x value. That doesn't work. So I'm not quite done yet. I know, trust me, this is mind-blowing. In order to make these both positive, I can just be like, boom, you're positive. But let's actually do the math behind the boom, okay? I'm going to divide them both by negative 1. Because what I do to one side, I have to do the other. And we know that you divide something by 1, it's still itself. And we know from, well, hopefully you might, maybe you forget this part, but if you divide a negative by a negative, it makes a positive. So negative x divided by negative 1 is going to become x, just positive x. Negative 3, divided by negative 1 is going to equal 3. Trust me, I know this is not the love of my life, okay? But we can do this. I'll show you again in one other example. We can do this, okay? X is now 3, so I'm going to go up here and I'm going to pretend that x is 3. So let me erase all this before I forget, because I've got a terrible memory. I'm saying x equals 3. So let's do this. Let's fill this back in. I'm now going to take the answer that I got and I'm going to put it in my equation and I'm going to see if it works. So I'm going to have 5, saying x is 3, minus 3 equals 2. 5 take away 3 equals 2. 2 equals 2. I know that I am correct because my answer equals my answer. This is mind-blowing. Let me show you this again. Woo! All right, let's do something else. So let's go 5 minus x equals, actually I like avoiding 1, so let's actually just do the opposite, equals 3. Let's keep it kind of easier. 5 minus x equals 3. Our first step, we look at this. Our variable is in a tricky spot. So we actually have to move our variable to a different spot. We want to move the variable to this spot, the very first spot that we're dealing with, right? X minus 5 equals 6. So, no, sorry, I'm trying to read backwards on the screen here. 2. X minus 5 equals 2. We want that layout. That layout is better. So we're taking the same question and we're changing the layout. Okay, so when we have the variable right here next to the equal sign, and again, trust me, you're going to look at this online. Almost all of the questions you're going to find are x minus 5 equals 2. You're not going to find a lot of questions that are 5 minus x, or you'll find the questions, but there's no explanations as to how to do it. It's very tricky. So the explanation is this 5 is already, it's a positive number. So we're going to put in the positive sign. We are then going to inverse, like switcheroo, the operation. So we're going to just move them. So now it becomes minus x plus 5 equals 3. So in order to get rid of this now looks, other than the minus x, this looks more like this, the first one. This looks better, right? So you guys can see this, right? Now x, whatever, minus x plus 5 equals 3. The top one is x minus 5 equals 2. That's a better pattern, better layout. So now is when I can use this subtract add thing. Okay, so if it's plus 5, I'm now going to use minus 5. I'm going to take away 5. Okay, that's going to cancel itself out. Over here, I still have to take away 5. And you're going to be like, but that's impossible. Not quite. Not when you have debt. Very possible when you have money. So I have $3 and I have somehow spent 5. And I owe money to someone. That's what that is. I've got 3 and now I'm in the negatives. So let's even just scale this up. So 3, 2, 1, 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Who knows how far we have to go? I've got 3. I'm at 3 and I'm taking away 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minus 2. Okay, so 3, take away 5 is minus 2. Over here, these cancel each other out because minus 5, I'm at minus 4, minus 5. I'm at minus 5. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm at 0. I've canceled itself out. So I can even write a 0 if I want. But now I'm left with minus x equals minus 2. And I'm already kind of happy because I'm like, woo, I've got x on its own. I've got a number on its own. But the problem is now I have minus x. But I wasn't asked to solve minus x. I'm asked to subtract positive x. And I have minus x, and that doesn't work. And you could just be like, okay, minus minus plus, it's 2. You're right. And that's maybe if like you're mathy. Great. I am non-mathy. So to me, I have to make this make sense on paper for it to make sense up here. So here's what we do is we then, what you can do anything to the left, to the right, to whatever you do to the left, you have to do to the right. So I'm going to divide this by 1 and negative 1. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1 to get rid of the negative sign. I can't just take it away. I can't say x is equal to 2. Like it is, but I can't do that. Mathematically, there's steps. I have to do the steps to make sure that I can do it, okay? So I'm going to divide each side by negative 1 to keep it fair, to keep it even. So negative x divided by negative 1 is just going to be x. It's itself, right? Because anything divided by 1 is itself. Right? Even if I get rid of the negative sign there, and that's 2 divided by 1 is 2. I get rid of the negative signs, and there we are, right? Negative divided by negative is a positive. So now, negative x equals negative 2. Because I've done math, I've proven that now x equals 2. Now I can then check my answer. Trust me, I know this is... I would rather be eating Nutella on a croissant than doing this. But we can do it. Just because we don't like it doesn't mean we can't do it. We can still do it. We can just complain about it. So we said that it was equal to 2, right? We said x was equal to 2. So I've got 5. My original question was 5. Sorry, I'm just going to keep this back in red because I think that's, I don't know, I like color coding stuff. 5 minus x equals 3. So I'm taking the idea of x equals 2, and I'm going to put it where x is. So 5 take away 2 equals 3. 5 take away 2, 5 subtract 2 is 3. 3 equals 3. That was so much more work than this first question that we did. Like infinitely more work. But we did it in a way that was mathematical, that followed rules. It was logical, not fun, but it makes sense and we got the answer. So we're done that one. I'm going to show you another video in which we attack one-step equations. And keep in mind, this is actually like, if you're in grade 6, you've been on this planet for like 10, 11, 12 years. This is hard stuff for having a brain that is still developing. And all of a sudden now we have to do all of this stuff. I think you got to cut yourself some slack and be pretty proud of yourself for doing this. So we're going to move on to these other two in just a moment. I'm going to make another video for each of these so you guys can see how we handle each of these layouts when the variable is in a slightly different spot. All right, good luck.